Yeah, welcome back again. We're going to solve for the value of x from this cubic equation. And the given equation is x to power 2 minus x to power 3 is equal to 12. And our interest is to solve for only real number that will satisfy this equation. So the given equation is what? X raised to the power of 2 minus x raised to the power of 3. Then we can take this constant to the left hand side, become negative 12, which is equal to 0. So the next thing we're going to do, this constant negative 12, we can break it as negative 4, negative 8. It's still going to give us negative 12. So we have x raised to the power of 2 minus x raised to the power of 3 minus this 12 is the same as negative 4, then negative 8. Everything will be equal to 0. Now the next thing we're going to do, we can rewrite this 4 to the base of 2, and also we can rewrite this 8 to the base of 2. So we have x raised to the power of 2 minus x raised to the power of 3 minus 4 is the same as 2 raised to the power of 2, then minus 8 to base 2 is the same as 2 raised to the power of 3. So everything will be equal to 0. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to combine the one that are alike term with the same power. So as you can see, this 2 is power 2 and this x to power 2. We can bring them together. So we have x to power 2, then minus 2 to power 2, and also we combine this x to power 3 and 2 to power 3. So we have minus x to power 3, then minus 2 to the power of 3. So everything will be equal to 0. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to group the whole expression in the left hand side into two groups. So we group the first two terms and we group the last two terms. But when you introduce bracket, we're going to change this to plus so that when you use this negative to multiply by this plus, it's still going to give us negative. Now the next thing we're going to do is to record difference of two square formula. Recall that in this bracket is in form of a square minus b square, and this can be simplified as what? A minus b, then multiply by a plus b. And similarly, if you look at this second bracket, we have in form of a to power 3 plus b to the power of 3, and this can be simplified as what? A plus b, then multiply by a square minus ab, then plus b square. So this second bracket can be simplified in form of this, and difference of two square can be simplified in form of this. Now let's break the two brackets into these two forms. So a square minus b square in form of this is going to be what? X minus 2, then multiply by x plus 2 using this property. Now minus this minus from here. So breaking this into this form is going to be what? A plus b is going to be the same as x plus 2, then multiply by a square is going to be what? X square, then minus ab is going to be minus 2x minus 2x, then plus b square, and b is 2. So 2 square is going to give us 4. So everything will be equal to 0. So the next thing we're going to do, if you consider these two terms, this term and the whole of this term separated by this negative, we notice that we have x plus 2 in common. So we're going to factor down x plus 2, then we open a mother bracket. So here, x plus 2 is outside already. So here is going to remain only x minus 2. Then here, x plus 2 is also outside already. So it will remain only this minus x squared minus 2x plus 4. So everything now will be equal to 0. Now recall that when two terms multiply itself to be 0, it's either the first term is 0 or the second term is 0. So we say we set x plus 2 to be 0, or here we can simplify inside this bracket, but before then let's rewrite it first. X minus 2 minus into x squared minus 2x plus 4 equal to 0. So we set the whole of this to be 0 and the whole of the first term to be 0. So the next thing we are going to do, now here we can take these two to the right hand side, become x equal to negative 2 when positive cross an equality sign. So this is one of the solution. And as you can see, this solution is an element of a real number. So therefore, this x equal to 2. Later we check if truly it satisfies the equation. But this is x1, the first solution. Now let's see if we can see any real solution from this second part. So in the second part, we are going to simplify the whole of this. We have x minus 2 minus x squared, then minus multiplied by minus 2x is going to give us positive 2x. Then negative multiplied by positive 4 is going to give us negative 4. Everything will be equal to 0. Now we're going to combine the like terms, starting the one with the highest power. So we have negative x squared, then x plus 2x is going to give us 3x. Then negative 2, negative 4 is going to give us negative 6. So everything will be equal to 0. Here, what do you notice? We have quadratic equation. And in solving quadratic equation, we have different method of solving quadratic equation. Now let's apply formula method. In using formula method to solve quadratic equation, remember we have only three unknown variable, which is a, b, and c, where a is the coefficient of the first term, which is the leading coefficient, and the leading coefficient here is -1. B is the coefficient of the middle term, which is 3, and c is the constant, and the constant is -6. Now let's write the formula. The formula is given as what? X equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac, everything over 2a. So x now will be equal to negative b, and b is 3. So it's going to be negative 3 plus or minus square root of b square. B square is going to be 3 square, which is going to be 9. Then minus 4ac. A is -1 and c is -6. So we have 4 multiplied by -1 is going to give us -4, and -4 multiplied by c is going to give us 24. So everything all over 2 multiplied by a, which is going to be -2. 2 multiplied by -1 is the same as -2. Now here we have x now will be equal to -3 plus or minus square root of 9 minus 24 is going to give us -15. Then everything all over -2. We don't need to even continue from here, because if you remember, the equation say we should find the real number that satisfies the equation. So as you can see, this quadratic equation, we're going to arrive at complex solution, because when you are taking the square root of a negative number, you must introduce an imaginary number. So therefore, when you solve this, you are going to arrive at something x equal to -3 plus or minus square root of -15 is going to give us an imaginary number, which is going to be square root of 15i, then all over -2. So if you simplify further, you are going to notice that your x2 and x3 is going to be a complex solution. So and our interest to find real number. So therefore, the only solution that will satisfy this equation, a real number, is x equal to -2. Now, for us to confirm that this solution really satisfies the equation, we need to check by writing the original equation, which is what? X to power 2 minus x to power 3 equal to 12. So we rewrite our original equation, so which is x to power 2 minus x to power 3 equal to 12. Now let's substitute x equal to -2. Anywhere we see x, we replace -2. So here we have -2 raised to power 2 minus then -2 raised to the power of 3. Now let's see if this is going to give us 12. -2 raised to the power of 2 is going to give us 4. Then minus -2 raised to the power of 3 is going to give us -8, because this is an odd number. So therefore, we have 4 negative multiplied by negative is going to give us +8, and 4 plus 8 is going to give us 12. So therefore, the left hand side is the same as the right hand side. So therefore, x equal to -2 is only real number that satisfy this equation. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel.